Alright, we're back in Bellingham 2 months later. I'm sorry I haven't been really filming. I do have 6 unedited videos, but they're kind of boring and not much personality, so maybe see a few of those in the future from the past, Andrew. But today I am filming a video and going to edit this, and it's going to go on the channel, and the channel is going to start back up. I'm pretty excited about it. Little update on everything. The XS650, I moved to Seattle, kind of got forgotten about a little bit, and the momentum was lost. I think with that, we're just going to paint up some things and figure out the brakes and then go get it tuned, and hopefully I'll be riding in Seattle and doing the little touch-ups at the end with a riding and fun to ride project, which is what everybody really wants. Anyways, we're here with Mark II today, and someone drove a little too hard and maybe blew a seal, or the front turbo maybe shit the bed a little bit, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're investigating today, and obviously there's a few other things that we can update with Evan and his 240 and E30. So let's get into it.
Take a seat on my ruckus.
So right behind Evan here is his 240, and his whole family likes to call it the piece of shit.
Because it is one.
But it'll get there one day.
Yeah, it'll get there. Nothing's really been happening with it yet, just because my E30's got to run before I work on the 240. And that has been a project. I was down 2 cylinders, so misfiring on 2 cylinders. Turned out to be my injectors. Got those cleaned, and it started running really well. From the time that I put the most recent clutch in that you guys saw, that broke immediately. The pressure plate, Sachs made a whole bunch of bad pressure plates, and I happened to get one of them, so that broke right away. I put a clutch master in, and that's doing really well now. I've gone through the break-in cycle on it, so that's really good. But just yesterday, I just finished the break-in cycle, and I blew my transmission.
Yeah. So we were riding on the road, and it was just crash, bang, rattle, rattle, rattle. And what happened was the pressure plate, when it broke the second time, damaged the bell housing and cracked it a little bit. So basically, it was a weak point in the driveline, and I don't know, some torque from the engine or whatever, once he finally put some sauce on it after the break-in period, cracked that thing. Other than that, that's gonna get fixed. It's a 240 Getrag 240.
Getrag 260, yeah.
Oh, Getrag 260. It's a Getrag 260, and he's in the market for one and looking around a bit. So that'll probably be up and running pretty soon, and we're hoping that that is done and running and stays running.
Yeah.
And so he can focus more on the 240. And we'll see if we can get that on the channel a little bit too, because everybody likes some 240 content. Other than that, show the car and with the body panels on.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And then we'll dive into this turbo issue. So here she is in all her glory. Spent the majority of 3 to 4 hours yesterday figuring out in the AAA ride. And she ended up out here, but damn does she look nice. Come on! But she looks really nice, and I think in general we're pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the car right now. I just want it to keep running. So new transmission is definitely in the works.
Yep. All right, cue the B-roll. So, right on the ground here, we got the intake, the turbo cold side to intercooler piping, basically, not intake, but what is it?
Charge piping.
Yeah, charge piping. Yoing. All right. And right down here, you can see little baby ceramic turbo. And as you can see, right there, you see a little oil. It's leaking out of the front side, the cold side. So we're gonna pull this all apart and see what's good with it. And look into whether we need the seals or internals. Then we'll probably put it back together. Then I'll head back to Seattle and order some parts up and get this figured out with Evan in the future. Let's dive into it.
The other one now.
Alright, so we decided we need to remove the distributor. So we're going to do that by taking off the spark plug coils or whatever. What are the, yeah, coils. And yeah, they're already marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And take it off this ignition coil over here. And free up some room for us to pull off this cold side piping to the charge pipe. And then check some gaskets and maybe pull it all apart. Who knows? I might stay another night, so this might be a day-long project. Keep you guys updated later. Then we got the distributor off and cleared up a bunch of room in here. As you can see, the distributor just pops right in there. And yeah, gonna pull this piping off and then hopefully get all this off and pull the top plate off and see if it's leaking anywhere else. But oil dropped significantly on the hour and 45-minute drive to Bellingham from Seattle. So, you know, I'm just wondering if this is getting consistently worse, or is it gonna stay pretty plateaued on how much oil comes out of the engine when I do these types of drives. So, hoping to make the car get through the summer and then maybe go single turbo down the road. But that's money that I don't have. Oh, and I never told you guys about the 4Runner. 4Runner decided to poop itself, basically, and the diff blew up, and that set me back $1,000. So I got it fixed. You know, pinions and gears aren't really in my expertise or in my range of knowledge. I'm not an expert on anything, but yeah, you know, cars are expensive, and but they're fun. So, all right, update you guys soon. So, in here, as you can see, so in here we got the turbo. It's a Ct12 C, a twin turbo, and gasket ain't looking too hot, so definitely have to order a gasket kit. So I'll get on that ASAP. But yeah, sheet leaking oil, as you can see inside the cold side piping here. What else? There isn't much play on the turbo, so it leads me to think that the turbo might be fine and the internals might be fine. We just might have a leak somewhere within, which makes me want to pull it off and fill it up with oil and see if one of the seals is leaking over a few hours. But yeah, I haven't really torn into this car much yet, and this is kind of fun, but also aggravating. So, whew. All right, so we got some lunch in us and did a little bit more research. The good thing is that the turbo is actually not moving in and out like it should be. So the play's fine. Turbo's looking nice in that. But it does look like it's leaking out of the charge pipe. And I did lose a ton of oil on the way here, so I think this car's gonna have to be parked up until I have the money to fix it. Sorry, camera was off there a little bit. But what else? We're gonna pull off the intake side and on the throttle body and check that for oil, and also try to check the hot side of the turbos and get our diagnosis. We did rip a gasket, so I'm going to have to make a gasket, went and bought some gasket paper at Napa. Not the biggest deal. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you the turbo play right now, and then maybe hit a little time lapse. little tiny bit of play back and forth, and that's completely okay. That's normal. But the important thing is there's no play in and out. So, turbo, little tiny boy. Yeah. What do you think, Evan? What do you think the problem is?
I honestly have no idea. You were saying it might be the back turbo blowing in there, and that would make a lot of sense because it would just come down through here and then go down into the turbo.
Yeah. It looks like it's leaking out of, it's on this charge pipe, it's looking like it's leaking more out of the backside part because there's more oil there. And as you can see, this is all black right here. So this is all just disgusting black oil. So yeah, you know what I think the problem is though? I think the problem is I own a turbo car and it's forced air induction, so you're bound to have issues. Anyways, we'll check back in a bit, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, I'm gonna have my motorcycle this summer and projects. Okay, so basically, we're gonna put it all back together right now and get the timing correct again. And yeah, I think we kind of decided that the rear turbo needs to be inspected a bit more, but it seems like that's where it's leaking a bit more too. So in the future, I think next weekend actually, Peter and I are gonna go up to my parents' house in Cleom and finish up my bike. And I'm gonna take this thing up there and just keep filling it up with oil so I can get there and drop it off. And then Evan and I will probably link up again over the summer and pull the whole turbo side off and lay it all out on a table and just get it right, you know, and order the correct parts. And you know it's all a learning experience too. Like, go through this once and you know, you gain knowledge out of it, so it's not the end of the world. It is sad though, the car has 25,000 miles on it, so these little baby ceramic turbos just don't hold up, I guess. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna button it all up. I'm gonna make a gasket real quick for the one that we ripped and fill it up with oil. Maybe take it for a test drive, bring it back.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't consume that much oil. I only brought a little quart. Bum, bum, bum. Oh. After a little while, I was able to get a gasket cut out and made for this little intake piece on the turbo. And Evan is still working right now, and he's working on getting that gasket cleaned up on the turbo side. Right down here. Right there. That took like 5 minutes to focus. And yeah, so everything's going good. Oh.
This thing's so sick.
We like those Milwaukee tools. Good looks. Alright. Alright, we got it all buttoned up. We're gonna go for a test drive and film a little bit, but yeah. Looked inside the intercooler piping off camera and it's wet. Like wet. So this car is going to sit for a little bit, and we'll get it back on the road at some point. We have some options to explore too, depending on money, and yeah. All right, so what's up, Evan? What's the deal?
Car's misfiring. I think Andrew may have put the distributor in a tooth off, which the adjustability almost makes up for, but not quite. So we're taking it back out, rotating it a tooth.
Yeah, so we just took it for a test drive. Everything was running good. It was making a weird sound, and then I shifted to fourth, and then downshifted to third, and it stopped. So you know, sometimes it's like that. But the plan is correct the timing a little bit. It was misfiring in the beginning, and then we got it running smooth by adjusting it a little bit, and then yeah. So now I'll take in the next test drive after, but ugh. we just went on 2 test drives, moved the distributor tooth, and she's running good now. Still leaking oil, so similar plan than last time, yeah, this is just kind of a check-in video, and yeah. We'll be back with more videos on better content than this because it was a little bit boring. But like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Just like Jimmy Yote. Goodbye.